Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Committee of the Whole for June 2nd, 2026. I ask clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman.
Here.
DEYNE.
Here.
Gansey.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Laporte. Walensky.
Present.
President Gunstein.
Here. Town Hall portion. If anybody would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium. Keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. State your name and address. Nobody? All right. That'll close the Town Hall portion of the meeting. Take us to standing committee reports. Public Works and Golf Committee Chairman DEYNE.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only item we have on the agenda is the downtown commuter parking adjustments, and I've asked Tyler to give the board an explanation of what's going on with that.
Trustee DEYNE, so I'll actually start us off here. So back during the parking fund budget review in March, staff brought up terminating our quarterly permit parking program due to the lack of participation. I can't say that we have taken the steps to do that, so the permit parking will end with the current quarter, which ends at the end of this month. Also, during that conversation in March, the mayor mentioned that he would like all downtown parking to be free. So that is what this discussion is going to be for, to kind of get some direction from the board. And so I could kind of get us started with what the financial ramifications would be with making all parking free in downtown. I will start off with the revenues. So pre-COVID, parking revenues were around $225,000 approximately. During the COVID pandemic year, so that was our fiscal year 2021, revenues dropped all the way down to $19,000. Since then, revenues have picked up a little bit each year, so they went to $39,000, $62,000, $78,000, $82,000, and then with our most recent fiscal year 2026 that just ended, they were $99,000. So revenues have picked up each year, but they are still down about 53% from the pre-COVID years. As far as expenses go, again, pre-COVID, they averaged around $200,000 per year. Since COVID, we've tried to pull a lot of that as much as we could to help the parking fund, so we've taken out all personnel costs. If you remember, we used to have a part-time parking enforcement officer, and then also some of the streets salary and financial salaries were charged to the parking fund. So again, we've gotten rid of all of those. So for the current fiscal year 2026, the expenditures were down to $74,000. So for fiscal year 26, revenues of $99,000, expenditures of $74,000, so we had a net profit of about $25,000. As far as the parking fund cash, again, that COVID pandemic year dropped our cash into the negatives. So in 2021, cash was negative $85,000. It continued to drop, so in fiscal year 2024, it was negative $225,000. The last 2 years, we've slowly chipped away at that, so at the end of fiscal year 26, it's going to be about a negative $200,000. So if we make parking free, the parking fund would go away completely. The negative cash of $200,000 would be transferred over to the general fund. Revenues would obviously go away. And as far as expenses go, so for fiscal year 2027 budget, we budgeted $75,000 in expenses. Some of that would go away. For example, service agreements, we budgeted $19,500. That would all go away. This is all paybox fees or credit card processing fees. The other one, we're still not sure yet, so we did budget $4,600. It's rent to Metra. So there's our spots, parking spots 101 to 158, so that's by the train depot to Western Avenue. We pay Metra 30% of the revenue we collect. So we are still in discussions with Metra on what would happen with this if we did make parking free. And then some expenses would remain. So that would be 15,000 in utilities, that's 12,500 for electric and gas, and then 2,500 for internet. And then 13,000 for landscaping. And then there's 1,000 for internet for the pay boxes that would go away. So if we did make parking free, the 75,000 of expenses would be reduced to about 45,000. Going forward, that would need to be budgeted out of the general fund, probably out of the streets department. So again, if parking is made free, we'd be going from a net profit of about 25,000 to expenses of about 45,000.
Why does it say 60 in here?
So there's also a $15,000 transfer from the parking fund to the general fund for liability insurance. So the general fund would lose that revenue as well. So there's 45,000 in expenditures, a 15,000 transfer into the general fund.
So I want to add to that. So during the COVID, you guys took the labor out of it, but we still had enforcement, which would not be needed anymore. That was provided by the police department, correct?
Correct.
So there was a portion of a CSO officer for a period of time every day enforcing that, if I'm not correct, right? So that salary of that CSO is not actually factored into the expense because it was taken out several years ago.
Correct.
Or the time for staff and yourself to do what's necessary to keep that enterprise fund separate.
Yeah, I believe that was removed in 2023.
Okay.
So of the 75,000, 60,000 of expenses we budget, about 40 to 45,000 would remain. The transfer from the parking fund to the general fund, the general fund would just lose that revenue.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that?
I feel like if we're making some money, why wouldn't we keep doing that instead of adding that to our budget?
Trying to entice people to come to downtown.
Yeah, so we have,
Parking at 11, we have 2 businesses open before 11 and plenty of parking. I mean, we have abundance of parking.
Hopefully, people that park at Hanover Park will now park in Bartlett. If
Correct.
free,
With
and
gas
utilize
prices?
their businesses.
we've lost a lot of our commuters to Hanover Park because of the way our platform is set up. So we're trying to entice them to come back to Bartlett and park in Bartlett.
And where do you get that information from?
Just, if you go to Hanover Park, just look at their train station in the morning versus ours. It's a lot simpler to go downtown from Hanover Park because the platforms are aligned.
And how do we
Now,
know
certain
that?
people are not gonna come back to Bartlett just out of that pure convenience.
How do we know that we just don't have more people working from home here in Bartlett? I mean, where's the data to drive that information?
We don't know. We don't know how many people are going downtown.
We don't know how many people are.
Slowly trickled up every year for the last 10,000 a year.
So I've been tracking it the last month or two. I can give you, so the average on Monday, we get about 196 daily parkers. Tuesday and Wednesday, 265. Thursday, 225. Friday, 105.
That's out of a total of how much?
That's the average number of daily parkers we get.
And how is that enforced currently? So in the event that we had no parking fees, you still have overnight citations, correct? And in. Okay.
So for us to break even, we gotta, if we're looking at $45,000 annual expense, we need to make $125 a day, 365 days to break even, so it doesn't cost us anything.
I don't think this is worth staff time to keep charging residents. I mean, these people pay taxes anyway. Property taxes keep going up. We've raised taxes. This is such a minor inconvenience for people to pay.
I feel like it's minor, but we're still getting money out of it instead of adding to our budget, and now we're paying for people who don't live here.
I kind of agree, I agree, though. We should reduce burden on our commuters. They already have a lot of anxiety trying to get downtown. So anything we can do to help them not worry about this. One thing I would want to do is proper signage. So me as a commuter or an infrequent commuter, if I come into the lot, maybe park backwards, which would not be cited anymore, right? If I do that, I would need some signage to say, this is free always, so that I wouldn't worry about it.
So it would be free overnight, too?
No.
So what are the hours?
Because it's free at 11.
What are the hours, then, that we would say it's free?
Until 2 AM.
Well, 6 AM to 2 AM is 2 to 6, you can't park overnight.
2 AM to
Pretty much
6
anywhere in the state of Illinois.
overnight.
And I would be, optimistic. Right now, we don't have a coffee shop inside our train station. We used to.
Correct.
Maybe if we start drawing people to this parking lot, maybe we might be able to rent out
Can,
at train
I
station
believe we're
or
gonna
a
draw
coffee
people
shop.
to our parking lot for this.
I do want to ask, what was the rent for the coffee shop? It's always zero? Okay. And is there a certain number of permit parking that has to remain still, even if we eliminated this? I know there was a question about that when we brought this up.
Yeah, Metro prefers daily parking, so they welcome not having permit parking.
Okay.
I don't think that would be an issue with them.
And how many permits did we have at one point this year?
Currently, we have about, I believe it's in the 40 permit parkers.
And our total spaces,
Like 760?
This says we have 357 daily parking spaces, 401 permit parking.
And we have 40 people.
Are they Bartlett residents, do we know?
I don't know.
Will there be a way to track how many people this draws into downtown to make it worthwhile to do this? Or is this just throwing it up in the air and just poof, hope?
I think this is gonna save staff's time. Less in audits, less in credit card fees, corporations getting rich
What I heard
off
was
of
we
this
want to
and
entice people
inconveniencing
into
our
Bartlett,
residents.
so I would like to know if there's any way to monitor and to
Track monetization.
track this, and so that we have data-driven information of whether this was worth doing it.
We could put a flock camera there. I'm being funny.
I don't think there's any way you can do that. It's a very good question.
I don't think we can either. I don't think we can do it either.
I think this is such a minor amount of money that we're talking here.
Hey, Matt, let me ask you a question. Having an enterprise fund separated like this, what's when you deal with the general fund versus the enterprise fund, is it more convoluted in time for you? I'm just asking, because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't complain if we got rid of the parking fund. It would save a little bit of,
Does it help our rating when we don't have an enterprise fund that's underfunded or in the negative?
if our parking fund continued to be in the negative, it could become an issue down the road. From an accounting standpoint, I don't know if there'd be major ramifications from that.
I think the reason that there's such a unknown that the Village of Bartlett allows parking, obviously, I think we've done a bad job of marketing it after 11 o'clock, because people will find places to park on Hickory, Western, all those streets, when the train lot is available for evening parking. I just wanted, my position was to just simplify this at best. And there are other alternatives to make money on the parking lot, parking spaces. You know, we can look at leasing some of those spaces out long-term to other, car charging, EV, and you can make that money up just in the monthly rent. And that's strictly a rent. We're not in the car, we're not in the gas station business. We had that discussion here for Village Hall a year ago. It's leasing those, potentially leasing those spaces out to EV charging.
Why can't we
Are
have
they
that
our
conversation
spaces or are they
now?
Metro spaces?
We own the parking lots. There's only, how many of them are actually Metros? 2. So they would be our rent if we were to lease those spaces out.
So why didn't we just make this a bigger conversation now?
That's great that you want to do that.
Like, keep collecting money until we have a plan. I thought we liked big plans.
So, task staff in figuring out what spots are best for EV charging and what companies we can use, and we'll get those put in. We'll talk about it.
Joe, you got any?
Nobody uses the EV chargers that are here. I'm all for income. Put 10 ATM machines, I know those make money. Why don't we just keep some, as a commuter, I would like to know I have a guaranteed spot every morning as a commuter. So I would purchase a parking pass so I know I have a guaranteed spot. If you open up free parking for everybody, now every morning I gotta worry whether I'm gonna get a parking spot or not,
Well,
to some degree.
we have 40 people that have parking passes.
Then maybe we keep 50 lots that are permit parking and then open up everything else for free. And then those people would basically cover the $165 a day cost that we need to do to break even.
How much is a parking pass
$9
for the year?
for the quarter.
For the quarter, okay.
Do we know how many people, you said we have 40 per minute parking now? Right.
And then we have other people that buy daily
Let
passes.
me finish.
Sorry.
Do you have additional inquiries for parking passes? Or is there no other interest?
I personally don't hear of anything. I think it's, the numbers I read, I think most people aren't commuting to the city 5 days a week, so it's not beneficial to them.
If those 40 people or X amount of permit parking were maintained right now, where would they be in the parking lot? Where are those located at? North side or south side of the track?
Currently, they're north side. All the blue is our existing permit parking that we have today.
Okay,
Those are permit parking.
Correct.
Everything else is just daily commuter. I'm just going down to the city for the day. That's it.
so we can elect to do open parking for everything except the permit lot, which is that lot, right?
I think if you look at this, though, if you want to look at leasing this for an EV charging station, then you would need to use Lot 11 or Lot 5,
I think,
because you wouldn't be able to put it on the other lots, because those are just single, you're going to need a larger space.
you're saying, correct me, I heard you right, that's the south lot or the east, or the north lot is the
The
permit?
north lots that I'm looking at right here on my screen, although it looks like on yours, well, it's Lot 11 and Lot 5. So all the way to the west, the two larger ones. Those are the only places I think you're going to have room to put a charging station at. Everything else, those are like single, next to each other.
I mean, I think that
That's not a bad idea to generate revenue.
It's just such a cluster going to the train station and trying to figure out if you're before 11, after 11, and the residents and the businesses downtown are telling people to park in certain lots. You have people that park next to what was Spin Doctors. They're not sure if they can park there. So the whole point was to simplify it,
we need to simplify this.
More parking than businesses.
I will say too, so the permit parking has been canceled.
Yeah. The permit parking was canceled
Well,
as of this quarter.
Correct. We paid some early termination fees and whatnot.
Well, if that's canceled, then let's just do
I mean, we only have 40 of them.
all free parking and be done with it.
Let's revisit this in a year and see where we're at, and we'll go from there. 2 years?
I think that in the future, if we put a parking garage in, we would be charging for it.
But St. Charles, Naperville, they don't charge.
I know.
So that's a whole other, if we had retail on the first floor, then we could afford to put the garage up.
That's way in the future.
So we just need to find out how to make the $165 a day that we'll be losing. Let's just say parking goes down, so maybe it only averages out to $140 a day. It's just a couple of tickets, we're good to go.
Well, I spoke to Chief. I mean, they're still going to be enforcing things, you know, nightly parking. Other villages have done this as well, so correct me if I'm wrong, Wheaton did this too? So,
Could we consolidate, like, so we're not having, I mean, there's just like parking everywhere.
Well, that'll be when we talk about the downtown TIF. We'll figure all that out.
we've definitely had discussions about consolidating. There is parking everywhere, so.
We have more parking lots than businesses down there.
What's that?
There's more parking lots than businesses down there.
It is true. I mean, I'm only going by what I see at other train lots. To answer your question, the data, I don't have the data to support how many people from Bartlett have gone over there, but I can tell you, like, my wife, when she goes downtown, she goes to the Hanover Park because it's convenient. So if we are not convenient, we should be, you know, less costly to offset that convenience of not having the combined platform. That's the difference. And mainly in the winter is when becomes the trigger. So I don't think the delta that we have to pick up financially, I think there's many different ways to find that revenue.
It's not gonna break the bank.
It's not.
What are those ways?
I mean, there's other ways we can create revenue by bringing more businesses in town, more tax revenue. I'm just using a big picture. Tax revenue?
We're going to raise the tax levy again?
No, I'm saying more businesses. So, again, this is for discussion, so.
I'm in favor of eliminating parking fees.
Except for the reserved spots, the people that purchase a spot, correct?
No, those are gone.
Well, Joe had mentioned before, somebody
It's
has,
sundown, it's been canceled already. That portion of it has already been canceled. So those 40 spots are already been refunded, and it's just pay.
I think there was,
Yeah, permit parking has been converted to daily parking as of this quarter.
It just went to daily parking.
so again, I'm not clear. What happened to the 40 spots? They're gone?
Yeah, so there was 40
Right.
permit parking.
The 40 permit parkers that we have been informed that they are now daily parkers, and there's no longer permit parking available. Because what we found is that we don't have people heading downtown 5 days a week. It might be 3, it might be 2. So people aren't really buying the $90 a quarter parking permit, except for, we used to have hundreds of them. Now we have 40. So we converted those from permit parking to daily parkers.
And with that, depending on what the decision is made, if the plan is just to go all to daily parking from those permit parking spots, we will have to sign all those by the end of the month.
Whatever the board decides, we will have to re-sign and renumber and do some work to make it clear, like you say, John. We can certainly do the research on what the revenue would be for the EV charging stations. and bring it back to you for your consideration on the numbers.
Also, we are still trying to iron out what we have to pay Metra, correct?
Yeah, we're working with their auditors on trying to determine what their position is.
Because we still
really
have this pay
significant
station
for
agreement of 19.5 and 4,600, right?
That's our estimate. Metra has their own. Matt's been trying to work with them.
Yeah, I've been in contact with their auditor. I think we both are unsure what the point of an audit would be. He was going to reach out to several departments at Metra to see if that's really what is needed. I have not heard back. But our quarterly rent we're paying to Metra lately has been about $3,000, so minimal.
I'm sorry, 2,000?
$3,000.
So where do we get 4,600?
We budget 4,600. Actual's been
We pay 9. We budget 4,600, but we pay 3,000 a quarter?
3,000 a year, I'm sorry, 3,000 a year.
Okay. And then the pay station service agreement's 19.5?
That's pay station and credit card processing fee.
Okay, so we would still have to pay those.
No.
Not if we go
Not
free.
if it's
Getting a yes, I'm getting a nod yes, and I'm getting
There is no credit card. If there's,
Parking is made free, that would
pay
all go
station
away.
service agreement, 19.5.
there would be no pay station. That's what we're saying, that at the end of the day, we make $25,000. What is it legitimately? It's about,
For the latest,
Factor everything in.
fiscal year 26 that just ended, our net profit's 25,000.
okay. And that's not factoring in the police department.
Correct.
So we're talking at most $35,000 in profit on a good year. So,
So they could be out there fighting crime, not writing parking tickets.
This is Gotham City.
Mayor, that parking officer is not solely for the downtown.
I know.
Enforcement throughout the community.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying a portion of that officer's day, over 365 days a year, is a contributable portion of their salary goes to that. You know, just like Matt's, a portion of your time spent goes to that enterprise fund. I agree with you. It's not a separate.
Like, some towns have a dedicated downtown parking for, I just wanted to make that clear.
So could we like close some of these lots then, if there's only 200 some people? Like, do we just say, I guess I'm like, it just seems like we're just talking about parking and like, what else could this, like, could we start moving on something to make it something else besides parking?
So like develop lot 5 and develop a lot 11?
I think there's a larger conversation regarding consolidation of parking lots. We have numerous lots, we have site FE or site DF. That's just on Railroad Avenue. We have the Spin Doctors lot. We have the large lot by the water tower. We have the water tower that's over there. So there is going to be, we as a board are going to, at some point here in the near future, have a larger discussion about consolidating parking to a certain area in downtown. So.
Yeah. The TOD plan does contemplate some development in those parking lots, and we're looking to refresh that. So, like you say, the opportunity to look at this as a whole is in the works.
This is my thought process is just to make our downtown more inviting for residents and, you know, so businesses can flourish. It's convoluted, how you park, where you park. There's so many different parking spots. You know, people from one business tell them to go park on Western Avenue or on Hickory, and then those people are complaining to the police department that there's cars all the way down Hickory. This, in my opinion, simplifies it. It makes it convenient for residents and people coming into town who don't live here, who don't know that the sign that says parking is free after 11, because it's just a sawhorse with a sign on it. You know, we have to get better about the marketing part of that, so.
late in the morning, they don't have to worry about feeding the meter and paying it, and,
Do it all on your phone.
no, but if you're running late and you don't think about
Do it
it,
ahead of time.
gotta go.
It's not like it was 20 years ago, Adam.
Bring my quarters.
Fold your dollar up and stick it in.
Shove the dollar in.
All right, so staff, I would like you to go back and figure out what Metra is going to charge us and what our requirements are for Metra. We are going to be moving forward in some discussions regarding train lots and future stuff for our TOD plan, so I mean, we will have those discussions. I would like to also know if we were to allocate 6 spots for EV charging, where they could be located within the current parking lots, but not in areas that could potentially be redeveloped, and what that financial gain would be, because I have to think, even though, to your point, Joe, those aren't used a lot, because there's a little bit more to that story, they're not designed for Teslas, and Tesla's the most popular car, electric car in the Village Bartlett. Those are not designed for Teslas. But they get a shared portion, that particular landlord gets a shared portion of the revenue off those. But if you go to a Target or a Myers where they've put them in the lot, they just lease that space to that, a car charging company.
Right.
And they put the infrastructure in, and it's, whatever, it's 10, 15-year lease, I don't know what the terms would be. And they just collectively get the revenue repetitively, in perpetuity, or whatever the contract is. So I would like to know what we can get in a range for X amount of spots for car charging.
We can move forward and send this to the board for a vote, or to eliminate this, we can just.
What kind of time frame are we looking at on this? Do we have to make this decision by our next meeting, or can we have this come back before us again?
Make the decision and move on. It's summer. People are out and about.
Don't you think we need a little more information?
I'd like to hear more.
To help our residents not pay for parking? I think it's such a minor amount. We give more to, I'm not even gonna call anybody out, but people that get BETA funds. You wanna talk about wasting money, we can have that discussion, but when you're helping out someone that's traveling to Chicago or wants to park and help a local business out, I mean, I think this is a no-brainer.
All right, does anybody want to see this come back before the committee, or do you want to bring it to the board with the answers that we discuss? It might not come at next board meeting because they might need more time to get those answers.
I don't want it to come before the committee again. I think we're prepared to move
Okay.
forward.
Okay.
Yeah, move forward.
Just, you know what you need from us, or what we need to get from you, I should say. That's just the answers on.
Does Geneva charge for their parking, their metro parking, Geneva? Because they've got a train go through there. You said Wheaton no longer charges?
Wheaton dissolved their parking enterprise fund. St. Charles does not charge for their parking garage.
Right.
Maybe you can also provide a list of other municipalities that charge and don't charge, and what they're, just for our own knowledge, so. You guys good with that?
I mean, I'd say at the very least, if we had to charge, then maybe lot 15 could stay commuter parking, and then give everything else free.
I don't think, is there a requirement that requires all that parking, or can it be consolidated to one?
Metro does have some requirements for the number of spaces, so that's one of the things that we have to check with
Do
them.
we have an abundance of what the requirement is? Are we above that?
I don't think so.
All right, even with the commuter so low, huh? They haven't adjusted that.
They have not given up the ghost on their number of spaces, no. That's for sure. We've been in discussions with their property folks, and they're still hanging on to a lot of the land.
Okay.
Can you use MFT funds to build a parking garage?
You can if it's free. If you're making money off it, no.
If we get let's say we get a bond to build a parking garage, can we use revenue yearly to pay those bonds from the MFT funds?
No. What you could do is you could have retail on the first floor, and then the rent money that you get, or that would pay for the bond, so. All right. We'll see this. Anybody else have any questions on it? All right. Trustee DEYNE, thank you.
Yep.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee DEYNE, second by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman? Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Walensky?
Yes.
We are adjourned.